How are you? This is Dr. Noja once again, founder of Ignite by Dr. Noja, which is also the Ignite program. So today we're gonna have a blast. We're gonna have fun time because this is reality talk. We're gonna talk about the real things that we deal with, the circumstances we deal with. So, as you know, I am a very positive person. I always like to be positive and see the positive in any situation that I find myself. And in all of that, it is very important that we understand that whatever circumstance we find ourselves, it may not be our own making, but there is a lesson in it. And that's why they say life throws lemons at you, but what you make of it, you could make lemon juice of it, or you can make lemonade, or you can leave those lemons to rot away. It's a choice. At all times, it is what we make of it, whichever the circumstance we find ourselves. So today we're going to talk about rising above your circumstance. Life is tough. Life is hard. Life is full of surprises. And life is full of constant change. Some changes can just, put somebody in a very difficult situation. But, all of that, it's all about rising above that situation and say, okay, it's like when you're driving and the freeway is blocked. Are you going to remain stuck on that freeway, or you follow the detour and ensure that the important things you get to your destination? That is what life is about. So I want you to know that sometimes you go through hard times, you go through, surprises, disappointment, and some changes. It could be overwhelming, truth be told. Sometimes it's overwhelming, dealing with all of this, trying to maneuver the situation you never planned for, and it's thrown at you just like that by life. But what do you do about that? You have to rise above it. You cannot allow yourself to be stuck there. It's like I said, if you are driving on the freeway and the freeway is blocked, you're not going to now stay there and wait till the freeway is open. You will find a way to get to your destination. So that's very, very important that we understand that it's okay to deal with situations. Sometimes you just feel like shutting down. You don't want to deal with anybody. Sometimes you feel like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this any longer. It's okay to feel that way periodically, but don't stay there. Don't stay there because there is much more in you. So when you just give up and you allow the circumstance to overwhelm you, to bury you in, it becomes a challenge because you are the one that is losing it. We can all agree that it's very easy for us to become a victim of our circumstances. It is, if you are not spiritually sensitive, you become a victim of a situation you're dealing with. How do you want to deal with that? Do you want to allow yourself to remain a victim, or you see yourself as a victor? And the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. When that circumstance you're dealing with, there is so much life transforming lessons that is there for you. Even if it's not for you alone, it's for other people. The lessons you will learn from that circumstance will elevate you to another level. Because no experience is lost. There is always a gain in every experience. It's either you learn not to repeat that situation, or you see the little opportunity there to take you to your next level. So let's not deal with our circumstance as same old. That's not the game. Because if you treat it that way, you will not learn to rise above it, and then that situation could repeat itself. It becomes a cycle. It becomes a pattern because you have refused to step back from it and say, wait a minute, what is God trying to speak to me here? What is the lesson in this situation for me? We all go through situations. Trust me. I have been through my own share of situations. But in every situation, I try to ask God, what are you trying to teach me here? What are you trying to say to me? But I strongly believe that every one of us have that power within us to rise above the circumstance. All you need is to tap into it. So your circumstance cannot define you and bury you and rob you of your peace, of your joy. It shouldn't be. That moment, it's like I dealt with a situation some years back, 2003. And we were buying a house the same time I lost my father. And I was having challenges with my own agent. And all I did, I told my agent, I said, you think you've cut my hair? I am Samson. My hair will grow again. But I refuse to allow those two situations to define me that moment. I needed to be able to elevate my faith above that situation. Otherwise, I could have been dealing with depression. I would have been dealing with anxiety because we are going to lose the house we are buying, and we had sold our current house. We were homeless for 1 week. But I was so hopeful that there was something greater for me. So I did not allow that to define me that moment. And because of that, I was able to think clearly. Your ability to think clearly is very important in any situation you are dealing with. So, you know me, I love to define words. I like to give meanings to words because it's very important that you understand in simple terms what I'm talking about. So I will tell you this, when you talk about rising above, what does that mean? Rising above your circumstance. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? I'll say this here. To rise above your circumstance simply means that you get up from a lying position to an upright position. To rise above simply means getting up from a lying position to an upright position. When the enemy has knocked you down, you have to get up and say, you think you have won. No, I still got it. Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, I'll be back. That is the attitude you should have. Always remember that you have it in you. The enemy, if you do not surrender your power to the enemy, he has no power over you. So stop doing that. Stop giving leverage to the enemy to not control you. That's very important. And again, to rise above simply means to get up from a lying position, like I said, to an upright position. And also, we can define it as, to surpass the normal. To rise above is to surpass the normal. A while ago, I did say, when people tell you you are not normal, you say, it's okay. I don't have to be normal. I am super normal. It's okay. Because you are not supposed to be at the level of everybody, at the level of your peers. You are not supposed to be. You carry something bigger. So when you're dealing with that circumstance, that's very important that you understand that you are called to surpass the normal. That is the only way you can come out of that circumstance. When you think above the situation you're dealing with and say to yourself, there must be a way out of this. There must be a way around this. So that's very, very critical in the way we look at life. When you're talking about rising above your circumstance, it's very important that you understand that that circumstance is a temporary thing. It's not a permanent thing unless you make it a permanent one. That circumstance becoming a permanent situation is defined by you. is not defined by that circumstance. The circumstance is supposed to be a stepping tool for you to another level. But how you look at it, how you receive it, how you would define how you deal with it. You know, things happen to people. I am not arguing that things happen to people, but we're not going to remain there. If we allow that to define us, then we will be stagnated at all times. You know, another meaning of rising above is that you have to give room for elasticity in your life. Be willing to change. That is what it says. That for you to understand that you are greater than the ordinary. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. You are greater than the ordinary. To rise above means you are greater than the ordinary. The ordinary is the circumstance. So you are greater than that situation you're dealing with. You're greater than that circumstance you're dealing with. So being able to rise above it is to come to your senses, to yourself, to the realization is, excuse me, this is beneath me. I can beat this. You can beat it. You can come out of it triumphantly. So I want you to know that that circumstance is not meant to destroy you. You got God on your side. God got your back. Do not let that circumstance define you, limit you in any situation. That circumstance is there to elevate your faith, to elevate your thinking, to expand your horizon so that you can think beyond the box, think outside of the box, think and look for solution. We are created to be solution providers. We are created to be solution providers. So that's, no matter the circumstance, no matter how large it is, please, I beg you, in the name of the Lord, do not let it bury you. Do not let it subdue you, that you lose your ability to function. That is not God's desire for you. His desire for you is to overcome that situation. Can you imagine the children of Israel? One day they were moved out of Egypt in the name of freedom. But I don't think they knew that they were going to fight a lot of wars to get to the destination. A lot of things, your circumstances you're dealing with, has to do with the destination God has for you, the future and the hope he has for you. So when you're dealing with that, the children of Israel, while in Egypt, they were not trained for war. They never fought any battle. But having to conquer nations to get to where they are, it's not different from what you and I are dealing with. There is a lot of greatness inside of you that you have to conquer every limitation that comes your way. Every obstacle that will stop you from getting to that destination. That circumstance cannot rob you of that destination. That future and the hope that God has for you, you cannot allow that to define you. Yes, you are greater than that circumstance. You are bigger than that. All you need to do is step it up. Step it up. Rise up from your lying position. No matter how you think you've been knocked down, you have what it takes to rise up. You have what it takes to beat that situation. You have what it takes to become the greatest that God has called you to be. So don't let that define you. Rise up of it. Rise up from the lying position to an upright one. Do not always know that you are created with so much inside of you to supersede the ordinary. You are created for extraordinary things. I love you. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Always remember that Jesus loves you and so do I. God bless you.